We have heard nothing from the WNBA, absolutely nothing.
Brittney Griner elbowing Caitlin Clark in a crazy way and then calling her a trash white girl.
And Brittney Griner has not commented, which I find significant. I've watched that video countless times, and it sure looks like Brittney Griner says, white girl.
The WNBA should investigate Brittney Griner seemingly uttering profanities about white girl.
Imagine a moment on the basketball court, a scene so jarring, so utterly unbelievable, it threatened to rip apart the very fabric of women's sports. It wasn't just a missed shot or a bad call, it was a jaw-dropping confrontation, caught live on national television that has unleashed a torrent of accusations, exposed deep-seated hypocrisy, and reignited a long-simmering, incredibly unsettling secret surrounding one of the WNBA's biggest names. We're talking about an alleged physical and verbal attack, a racially charged insult, and a league's deafening, utterly baffling silence. This isn't just about basketball anymore. This is about fairness, about safety, about the very integrity of elite competition. What if everything you thought you knew about this league, about its stars, was based on a shocking, carefully constructed illusion? The questions that have been buried, dismissed, and ignored are now bubbling to the surface, demanding answers that could send shockwaves far beyond the hardwood, potentially unraveling decades of progress and trust in women's sports. This story isn't just viral, it's invasive, it's personal, and it's something the WNBA desperately doesn't want you to know.
She's the Rookie of the Year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Caitlin Clark is a rising star in women's basketball. She's pulling in crazy viewership numbers.
Caitlin Clark is the needle mover.
She is the needle mover.
She is the franchise player.
And she was the MVP. She is the main draw.
She wasn't the one who was full sprinting down the court.
She's my role model. I really look up to her.
Why do you like Caitlin?
And she's so good at basketball.
Because she's that awesome person and she has like a lot of aura, so like.
The incident itself was captured in agonizing detail for millions to witness. Brittney Griner, a towering figure in the WNBA, allegedly delivered a deliberate elbow to the league's burgeoning superstar, Caitlin Clark, but the physical contact was merely the prelude to a far more insidious and to many unforgivable moment. As cameras zoomed in, capturing every raw detail, Griner appeared to unleash a shocking, venom-filled insult, reportedly mouthing the words "trash white girl" in the heat of the moment. The words, raw and unedited, broadcast seemingly across the nation, instantly ignited a firestorm, sending shockwaves far beyond the hardwood. This wasn't just typical game time aggression or standard trash talk. This was a pointed, racially charged jab that left fans gasping and the internet ablaze with outrage. The clip spread across the internet faster than a half-court buzzer beater, becoming an immediate flashpoint in the ongoing narrative surrounding Clark. Yet, in the face of this widespread public outcry, the WNBA's response was nothing short of astonishing. Absolute, complete silence. No fines were levied, no suspensions were issued, not even a strongly worded memo was released. It was as if the entire league decided to collectively look away, leaving fans in utter disbelief, questioning whether their outrage, their very concern, was completely irrelevant. This glaring lack of disciplinary action or even a public acknowledgement immediately drew widespread condemnation and fueled accusations of a profound double standard. The silence was louder than a missed free throw in an empty gym, and fans were not having it.
Brittney Griner, who I can't stand, sad that she's a Baylor grad. She called her a trash expletive white girl. That was the lip reading. Yes, trash white girl. Trash. Blanking white girl is what she says.
Is the WNBA okay with one of its players saying white girl on the bench and getting caught by TV cameras saying such? I guess they are. I guess they're okay with it. Obviously, the league would very much not be okay with a white player saying black girl on the bench in anger and getting caught by TV cameras. That would be an immediate suspension, if not a career ender for said white girl.
Caitlin Clark didn't just join the WNBA, she detonated into it, arriving not merely as a player, but as a cultural phenomenon, a genuine superstar. She is, by every metric, the league's undisputed needle mover, the franchise player, and for countless fans, the undisputed Michael Jordan of this generation of women's basketball. Her impact on viewership numbers, merchandise sales, and overall fan engagement has been nothing short of revolutionary, dragging the league into the national spotlight like never before. Yet, this meteoric rise to stardom, this unprecedented level of attention has come with a heavy, often brutal price. From her very first warm-up game, Clark has been subjected to relentless, often violent hostility on the court. She's been pushed, shoved, elbowed, and slammed with an intensity that seems disproportionate and deeply personal. Not because she plays dirty or flops for calls, but simply because she is dominant, because she is white, and because she has, almost single-handedly, shifted a spotlight that many incumbent players and longtime fans feel she doesn't deserve. This isn't merely physical intimidation, it feels like a calculated campaign of abuse designed to break her spirit, intimidate her, and put her in her place for all the attention she's been getting. We've seen countless videos circulated online, blatant elbows, crushing inbound passes where opponents ram into her, and brutal fouls disguised as standard defensive plays. It's an undeniable, disturbing pattern of sustained physical abuse, and for an increasing number of observers, it carries a distinct, undeniable racial undertone. Griner's outburst didn't come out of nowhere. It was the latest in a disturbing pattern. Not a moment of passion, but a calculated, venom-filled insult broadcast to the world. Even Angel Reese, another prominent WNBA player, exacerbated this. Perception of targeted hostility by reposting a meme portraying Clark as running from the fade, captioned with a racially loaded phrase. And this wasn't fan content. Reese posted it herself. This hostile environment isn't new for Clark. She has been the league's favorite punching bag since day one, seemingly for no other reason than her sheer brilliance, her sudden, overwhelming popularity, and the demographic she represents.
But it is completely possible that fucking white girl was about Caitlin Clark's popularity, about her stature, about her impact on the entire league.
Let's see an investigation into reverse racism that's going on across the league also. Griner referring quite clearly, I believe, to Caitlin Clark and a white referee as, quote, trash ass white girls. If you are a straight white woman in the WNBA, there is no way that you feel completely safe.
Throws out a racist insult. Make that make sense.
The noise that's coming.
I don't appreciate the new fans that sit there and yell racial slurs at myself, my teammates, and the people that I play against. Because yeah, those might be opponents, but those are friends too. You know, they don't deserve that. So I don't appreciate the new fans. I think it's okay to do that.
The WNBA's deafening silence on the Griner incident, contrasted with their outspoken stance on other issues, immediately sparked furious accusations of a stark, unforgivable double standard. Consider for a moment the hypothetical scenario. Imagine the immediate, visceral outrage if Caitlin Clark, a white player, had called Brittney Griner, a black player, a trash black girl on national television. The media meltdown would be instantaneous, absolute, and merciless. 24-hour news cycles would be dominated by wall-to-wall coverage, league-wide statements condemning the act would be issued within hours, and a lifetime ban from basketball would not only be demanded but likely enforced. There would be no debate, no delay, no shrugging it off. It would be done and dusted, her career irrevocably over. Yet, when the reverse happened, when a player allegedly uttered a racially charged insult against a white athlete on live television, the league offered nothing but crickets. No fine, no suspension, not even a strongly worded memo. Skip Bayless, a prominent and often controversial sports analyst, didn't mince words, flat out declaring that if a white player had dropped a racial slur on national television, their career would be unequivocally over by lunchtime. The contrast is not merely stark, it's chilling. This perceived selective outrage isn't just unfair, it's a corrosive force gnawing at the very integrity of the WNBA from within, leaving many players, particularly straight white women in the league, questioning whether they can truly feel safe and protected. This hypocrisy is further highlighted by past league actions, such as their swift, high-profile investigation of Indiana Fever fans over vague, unverified allegations of racial slurs, accusations that were later found to be false. Yet when an actual player on national television seemingly throws out a clear, identifiable racist insult, the league inexplicably becomes blind, deaf, and mute. The message from the league, through its inaction, is chillingly clear. Some players get a pass, are shielded from consequences, and are even seemingly coddled, while Caitlin Clark, the player bringing unprecedented attention and value to the league, simply gets a target on her back.
She accused the Indiana Fever fan base of being racist. They investigated it. They said those accusations were false. The least that she could do is apologize to our great state and the fans that show up at these games and say, I'm sorry, I was wrong. Obviously, she's not going to do that. But also, Dan, why isn't the Indiana Fever apologizing to their own fan base for putting them through that, for going through those types of accusations?
He stated in part, obviously, the league would not be okay with a white player saying effing black girl on the bench in anger.
WNBA without Caitlin Clark remains an attraction that not many people want to watch. Without Caitlin Clark,
is going to massively affect the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark is the closest thing that they have to quality play. Caitlin Clark, the Caitlin Clark effect is very real. She is the most valuable player in the league.
But the on-court drama surrounding Brittney Griner and the league's baffling response is just the visible tip of a much deeper, far more personal, and potentially explosive iceberg. For years, hushed whispers, shadowy anonymous posts, and widespread online speculation have circulated about Griner's biological identity. The Caitlin Clark incident and the intense scrutiny that followed has poured jet fuel onto this long-simmering, incredibly unsettling firestorm, dragging these rumors into the glaring spotlight with unprecedented intensity. What makes this resurfacing speculation so impactful, so impossible to ignore, are the receipts that have recently gone viral. A specific topless Instagram story, reportedly posted by Griner herself, has become central to the renewed debate. The clip, according to widespread online commentary, showed Griner's chest to be unmistakably flat without any of the telltale scarring typically associated with top surgery for transgender individuals. What makes this particular detail so compelling for speculators is the claim that this Instagram post reportedly remained up for nearly 2 years without being flagged or removed by the platform's notorious AI detection system. Instagram's AI is known for its aggressive flagging of female nudity, leading many to infer that the platform's detection software may have, by its own algorithms, classified the torso as male. This astonishing implication, combined with Griner's already well-known deep voice, broad frame, and overwhelming physical dominance on the court, has thrown open the floodgates of doubt for countless observers. Even casual sports fans with no agenda other than wanting fair play are watching her slam into Clark and wondering aloud, are we even playing on the same field? The rabbit hole, however, goes even deeper. A particularly disturbing anonymous viral post is making the rounds, claiming that Griner was assigned female only on paper. This post alleges that Griner is, in fact, a straight cis male who was raised as a girl by an insane mother, who made the decision and filled out all official paperwork, including her birth certificate, as female, keeping the charade. Going into adulthood, the theory, unsettling as it is, suggests that Griner lives and presents as male in every other part of her life, except when it's time to compete in women's sports. True or not, the league's absolute unwavering silence on these persistent, deeply unsettling concerns only magnifies them. Today's world champion's inclusion and diversity, yes, but it also demands, perhaps even more vehemently, fairness, especially in elite competition. If there is even a shred of legitimacy to these grave concerns, if there's a possibility that a biological male is dominating women's sports under false pretenses, that is not just controversial. It is potentially the biggest athletic scandal of the decade, and if that were the case, then female athletes like Caitlin Clark, who are physically smaller, lighter, and clearly more vulnerable, deserve a league willing to investigate, to clarify, and to ensure that the playing field is, in fact, truly level. When someone who plays with the physical intensity and power of a linebacker slams into a smaller, lighter athlete like Clark, it is no longer just about sportsmanship or competitive spirit. It is fundamentally about safety, about equality, and about whether the integrity of women's sports can truly be maintained.
That this person is not a female. Firstly, because this was actually posted to Brittney's personal Instagram. And when it comes to Instagram, they use a combination of like AI detection and plus manual surveyors, but specifically the AI detection to make sure that no explicit content ends up on the platform. So clearly whatever AI detection system was used when Brittney posted this and it stayed up for 106 weeks, was not like, oh, this is a bare female chest, we have to take this down. It obviously assumed that Brittney was male.
The narrative of Brittney Griner receiving special treatment, of being coddled, extends far beyond the basketball court, weaving into a complex tapestry of international politics and extraordinary privilege. We cannot simply gloss over her infamous arrest in Russia for carrying cannabis, an incident that escalated into a massive global diplomatic crisis. This crisis culminated in an unprecedented, highly controversial prisoner swap for Victor Bout, the notorious arms dealer, widely known as the Merchant of Death. This wasn't merely a PR headache for the WNBA or a minor legal dispute. It was a national security trade, a level of political pull and top-level negotiation most citizens could only ever dream of. The WNBA, a league that is famously and overtly fond of virtue signaling on numerous social issues, has been conspicuously, stunningly silent on the sheer magnitude and ethical implications of this extraordinary exchange. Fans are absolutely right to ask, how is someone with that kind of complex baggage, someone at the center of such a high-stakes political trade, still being seemingly coddled by the league and by political powers, while Caitlin Clark, the player, single-handedly catapulting the WNBA into unprecedented relevance and viewership, struggles even to get a basic foul call in her favor? It's a glaring, infuriating question of priorities, of protection, and of whether this league is genuinely serious about safeguarding its own future, or simply protecting its longtime favorites, and those who come with a particular political narrative. The stark contrast between Griner's political rescue and Clark's on-court abandonment speaks volumes about who this league truly values and protects. Casual fans, many of whom have only just discovered the WNBA thanks to the electrifying Caitlin Clark effect, are watching this entire bewildering saga unfold in utter disbelief. They tuned in with genuine enthusiasm to cheer on the rising star, captivated by her unparalleled talent and charisma, only to witness her mocked, relentlessly physically bullied, and now allegedly racially insulted, with absolutely zero consequences emanating from the league's front office. And what do they see from the WNBA in response to this undeniable injustice? Not action, not accountability, not even a heartfelt apology. Instead, they are met with dismissive silence, hollow slogans painted across the court, and a nonchalant shrug. This response is not just disappointing, it is profoundly alienating. If this is truly how the WNBA treats its new, burgeoning fan base, the very people drawn in by the undeniable allure of Caitlin Clark, then it should come as absolutely no surprise when those fans simply turn their televisions off, perhaps for good. The reality is stark. A WNBA without Caitlin Clark, without the electrifying Caitlin Clark effect, remains an attraction that, frankly, not many people want to watch. She is the closest thing they have to quality play, the undeniable main draw, the MVP of the league by impact alone. Yet, the league's inaction, its perceived cowardice in addressing these grave issues, threatens to squander the very excitement, the very momentum, the very revenue she has so painstakingly generated. Fans are watching and they are not stupid. They see with crystal clarity who is being protected and who is being punished. And it is not the player dragging the league into the spotlight who is getting the support. It is the one dragging others down, the one surrounded by controversy and unsettling questions who consistently gets a pass. The central question that echoes through the arenas and across social media remains frustratingly unanswered. Why is Caitlin Clark expected to rise above absolutely everything, to embody grace under pressure, to take the high road while she is shoved, slammed, and verbally assaulted, while others, particularly Brittney Griner, seemingly get away with anything and everything without consequence? Why is a racially charged insult allegedly hurled against a white player treated by the league as a minor slip-up, an inconvenient truth to be swept under the rug, while the very same comment, flipped, would undoubtedly bring the entire league to its knees, triggering media meltdowns and immediate career-ending bans? That precisely is the searing hypocrisy fans are utterly sick of, and it's a hypocrisy that is actively corroding the WNBA's credibility from within. The WNBA, a league that has vocally championed no place for hate and no place for racism numerous times, appears to turn a blind eye, their silence deafening when the hate and alleged racism are aimed directly at Caitlin Clark. Unless the WNBA fundamentally changes course, unless it stops ignoring these glaring double standards, unless it launches a transparent investigation into the alleged reverse racism unfolding across the league, they will find their newfound fan base ignoring the league right back. The future of the WNBA, the credibility of the entire sport, now hangs precariously in the balance. If you stand with Caitlin Clark, if you believe she deserves fairness, dignity, and safety, if you believe in accountability and the integrity of women's sports, then make your voice heard. Let the league know unequivocally that you demand better. Shout it from the stands, support and watch the games, and let your comments ring out across social media. Because if the WNBA doesn't step up soon, if it doesn't finally address these deeply unsettling truths, it's not just Caitlin Clark who will suffer. It's the credibility, the newfound relevance, and the very future of women's basketball itself. This is a battle for the soul of the sport, and it's one the fans are ready to fight. Thumb up, thumb down.